I come to the games, I watch them, you know what I mean? That's like when Riley Nelson and them were playing, and it was like, I was like, I want to do that, you know what I mean? So I started playing football, and honestly, at first, I didn't like it that much. First year I was playing, we were on vacation. My dad was calling the coach, just like, I'm 5th grade. He's like, I'm letting you know, like, we're not going to be there because of vacation. I was 11 years old.
You were 180 at 11 years old?
Yeah, I was like 180. As soon as they heard that, they're like, oh yeah, he doesn't have to come to tryouts. He's going to be on the A team just because of my size. Like, that's how I kind of got introduced to football.
So you were committed to Virginia, and then BYU came into the picture, and you were kind of like, switched it up right before you left. So kind of talk about that whole process and why BYU.
The day before the early signing period in December, I decommitted from Virginia and committed to BYU. Yeah, and I actually originally committed to BYU because it was so late as a preferred walk-on. But I just knew I needed to be here at BYU, you know what I mean?
I remember when you first got here, obviously you looked good, and then boom, something happens, right? You tear your ACL. Talk about that injury, man. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Y. I'm your host, Hinckley Rapati, and today we got another special guest. We got my guy, Joe Brown.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Happy to be here.
No, I appreciate you for being here, Joe. Obviously, we're getting into Texas Tech Week. Before we get then, how was the bye week for you, man?
It was great. It was good to rest, mentally prepare for those guys. So that was the big part about last week, was just mentally prepare, getting the body right, but hit it hard today, and we're excited to go play.
Yes, sir. Be a lot of fun. Was the second bye week of the season, correct?
Yeah.
So the first one was?
It was the early one. It was week 3. Okay. So right after Stanford. Yeah, right after Stanford.
Which is crazy because I forgot who I talked to this about earlier. But before when we were independent, we would only get one bye week.
Oh, just one?
And it'd be at the very end. So you never got to experience that. And it came at the point of the season where it literally never mattered. Like, it didn't even do anything for us. Like, it was like week 10.
You already played 10 straight.
We already played 10 straight. You know what I mean? It was like bye week for the last game of the season. You know what I mean? So it's nice to be in the conference and to be able to, have that time in between season, like good breaks, especially the run that we're going to have right now from here on out to the end of the season. So but that's good, man. Well, Let's jump right into it, Joe.
For sure.
Man, you're obviously you went to Lone Peak High School.
Yeah.
I saw that. Talk about, life at Lone Peak, because Lone Peak's one of the powerhouses here in Utah. At least when I first got here, even till now, I feel like Lone Peak is one of the few high schools that I've heard that are pretty good at, it's pretty good at football.
Yeah, they're doing pretty
Along
well.
with Corner Canyon, you got your other people like Bingham and things of that sort. And so talk about life at Lone Peak and maybe life before that,
For sure. Like growing up, that was like where I'd be the whole time. I had siblings that went there, and I mean, I loved it, honestly. Yeah. Big football school, and so it was nice because like they took it pretty seriously over there. So that kind of built a better foundation for me when I, get into college. It wasn't just like, you show up to practice, whatever. Yeah. Like we'd study film, like we'd kind of establish those habits before college. Yeah. So it's like, obviously now it's amplified now, but I loved it there. Great coaches. Like we had defense coordinator was Ryan Denny, played at BYU.
Oh, wow.
Really good player. Played in the NFL, I think, 9 years or something like that. Gary Pay was our O-line coach.
Gary Pay?
C-Pay.
C-Pay's that?
Trevor and A-Pay.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to those guys right there.
That's a Pay family, man.
Yeah, so he was in the NFL for a bit too, and then so we had a lot of like NFL experience on that staff. So like they knew how to play ball, you know what I mean? So they had a lot of good stuff to, prepare us for the next level and, just keep like technically, like I think I definitely improved a lot because that's the thing I feel like I need to improve the most is my technique. And so going into high school, that helped a lot having those guys,
Well,
being there to mentor me and help me out.
That's pretty crazy that you had coaches that played at that level because not a lot of high schools, are able to have that,
Yeah.
Because like for me personally, I've had the same thing, I've had a couple coaches that I've been able to play with. I mean, that coached me in high school, that played in the league, and it makes a huge difference because they've been through obviously playing at this level in college and then playing the NFL, and then those experiences, they use that exactly, all those experiences to basically run the program. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I was super.
I'm not surprised
super
why.
Grateful for it.
Yeah, why Lone Peak is good as they are. I mean, even now. Mm-hmm. And so was football really just the sport you played growing up? Was that really the only sport? Or did you play in multiple sports?
I played a lot just growing up. Yeah. I guess you could say I started football a little bit later compared to other sports. So growing up, played basketball, baseball. I played lacrosse. Started football in 5th grade, and so we did a lot of sports in my family. That was really encouraged. Yeah. But seeing my brothers play, because we have a big old gap in my family. So I was 7 or 8 years old when they were playing.
Here at BYU?
Yeah, here at BYU. Right. So I'd come to the games, I watched them, you know what I mean? And, that's when Riley Nelson and them were playing, and it was I was I want to do that, you know what I mean? So I started playing football, and honestly at first I didn't like it that much.
Really?
Yeah. I was only good because I was just a big player. I was a big kid growing up.
So you're always big? You're always this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a big kid, I mean, maybe if we have some other questions later, I was a big old kid, you know what I mean?
Wait, so how did that work? So if you were always a big kid, because back in California, when you were usually the bigger kid, you had to play up what's that called, division or age group. So did you play at the do they have that here in Utah where it's or is it weight, playing Pop Warner? Is it weight class? How does that work here?
They have the X-Men. Did they have that in
California?
The X-Men,
that's right. Yeah,
so as soon they literally, so first year I was playing, we were on vacation. My dad was calling the coach, just I'm 5th grade. He's I'm letting you know, we're not going to be there because of vacation. My dad, I was a big kid, probably 180 pounds.
How old were you?
I was 11 years old.
You were 180 at 11 years old?
Yeah, I was 180.
What in the world?
And then
I was 180 in my junior year in high school.
I was that's what I'm telling you, man. I was eating, you know what I mean? I was big. So as soon as he heard my weight, and then I think I was pretty tall for my age.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's probably what's a big size for a 5th grader? Maybe 5'8". I don't know. Yeah,
that's my height. Yeah.
I don't know. As soon as they heard that, they're oh yeah, he doesn't have to come to tryouts. He's gonna be on the A team just because of my size. So I got lucky there, and that's how I got introduced to football. And so I remember talking to my dad, and so I didn't go through tryouts my first time. I got lucky because I was just a big kid.
Yeah, size kind of does a lot.
Yeah, it did.
But that doesn't exclude. Just to disclaim, that doesn't exclude from how hard this kid works. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people to be oh yeah, you got to be born with a certain size. But one thing that I noticed about Joe, one of our first interactions together was actually in the weight room. You had just gotten home from a mission. I don't know if you remember this. You walked in there, and the first thing I thought was did this guy do a mission, working out in the gym every single night? Did he ever actually do a mission? Because you came and you were legit, bro, built like a tank. You are right now, but I'm just saying, when you first came, a lot of missionaries don't come home looking the way you looked. You looked like you were ready to put on the pads and just play right away. You didn't need a acclimation period for you to get ready for the season. So before we get into that, let's talk about the mission actually.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I think that's something that's important. I feel like it's a big part of all of us who serve mission. So how was the mission for you, and how was that experience?
It was amazing. So I served in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah. I just loved it there. Yeah. I mean, I looked big. I was eating good. You know what I mean? Barbecue out there.
Texas,
you know what I'm saying? People were making us tacos, you can imagine. Jeez. Brisket,
Oh, man.
All that stuff, you know what I mean? Member dinners every night, so you didn't have to worry about eating, that's for sure. Out there. But I absolutely loved it. Loved the people out there. It was honestly it was a great experience, integrating, because I wouldn't say integrating, the culture is very similar, but it was all football down there, so that was a really easy way to kind of ice break a little bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would come up to me and be like, you play ball kind of thing. And, we started talking to them because we're dressed up in our Sunday dress, and people are who are these guys? You know what I mean?
Especially you, who's this big old dude?
This big white guy, dressed up in his church clothes, something like that. And so that was a good icebreaker. And then the people down there are just amazing. You hear about missionaries here, what is it called? Face shopping. They go in and they don't bring their their missionary fund credit card because there's so many members, they know somebody's gonna pay for their meal or something like that. But even people down there who were just Christian. There was a couple times to go in restaurants and they were just Christian, and they noticed that we were Christian too, and
that's pretty
they
cool.
would pay for our meals too. So it was a cool thing too, that even though we're in the same faith, they understood that we're fellow believers in Christ. So I mean, they're amazing. I had great mission presidents, President Sister John. Freaking love them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they were huge mentors for me and helping me, I mean, just understand the gospel, but just like prepare for life after the mission too. Just being more disciplined, whether not just in like spiritually, but like physically or mentally, like being disciplined in those areas of my life. So, you know, that set me up really well. I feel like coming home, and obviously still have to learn a lot, but I learned a lot of really important life lessons that, you know, took me out of that high school mindset, that young adult mindset, and kind of escalated it into more like, okay, like, think more like this in the rest of your life. Like, this is what's going to help you be successful.
Oh, for sure. I feel like that's one thing that everyone who served the mission and do, at least do it the right way, you know what I mean? They come home with those life lessons of, like, you know, just being consistent, you know what I mean? Things that translate very well to the football field, you know? You know, and I feel like you did exactly that. How was working out there on the mission? Because I gotta ask, bro, were you working out consistently while you were out there? Were you already like in your head, like, because a lot of times the missionaries that, you know, obviously they know they're gonna come back and play, but it's not like something that they think about. Sometimes it's just like, you know, you just let go, and it's just like you just focus on the mission, right? But I feel like you can definitely do both. I mean, obviously you did that. So like, what did you do? Like, for me, I got lucky with like equipment and stuff like that. Oh, nice. So especially like first couple months, like we didn't have a ton. Like, I do a lot of like jump rope was like my main thing on my mission. Actually, we jump rope. Like, either my companion was like, you know, I jump rope, he'd be running, or if he was jumping with me, I'd jump rope for like 10-15 minutes almost every day on my mission. Just in the morning, just to like help with foot quickness and stuff like that. And that helped out a lot. That's why you do it now. Because every time I've seen you work out, in the summers, right? This is mind you, this is not team workouts or anything of the sort. This is just like Joe just coming on his own time, and he's there every single day that I've been there, and I'm like, this guy's still working out, like, and you're always jump roping, and so like I'm assuming that's all from the mission, right? Just kind of was consistent with that there, and you just kind of translate here. Huh? The jump rope was big. I haven't been doing it as much, like with the recovery and everything with the injury, but I definitely need to get back on it. You know what I mean? But so I did that the first little bit, and I kind of kept it throughout my mission, like off and on. But like the biggest thing that came from like why I looked like that when I got home was my last 6 months. I was with an elder. I don't know if he's going to watch this. His name's Ty. Shout out Elder McCune. I don't know if he'll check this out, but he's my companion for the last 6 months. And I guess kind of revert a little bit where it came from. So he played basketball at Provo. Okay. High school. And have you heard of like Stroformans? Yeah, Stroformans. Yeah. So I was there in high school. He trained there as well. We met there. You know, just talked. This is before the mission. Yeah, this is before the mission. Oh, wow. And so like we kind of were like gym buddies, you know what I mean? Like work out together. You know, he went off on the mission, didn't realize it. Like 6 months into our mission, I was like, I seen it. Like we were at like I think it was a zone conference, and I seen him. I was like, are you like so-and-so? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you went to Stroformans, right? He's like, yeah, like we worked out together. And this is when I'm like 6 months out. Yeah. And I was like, yo, it'd be so sick if we were companions. And then when we hit 18 months, we were companions, and then we were companions for the last 6 months of our mission. Oh, wow. So you guys both were the same terms, right? Yeah. So like he was out. He came out a little bit like a transfer or two before me, I think it was. He actually ended up extending and stayed a month after. But so my last 6 months, we got to be companions. That was awesome. And like he was, you know, I had companions that wanted to work out, but like him, like he knew what it was like. And so sometimes like my last 6 months, sometimes depending on the day, we'd wake up a little earlier. We'd get, you know, hour and a half, maybe 2 hour workout in, you know, a little lift, maybe run a little bit too if we could, you know. I don't recommend it, you know, if you're walking around all day, but like we got blessed to have a car, so like I was about to say, we could work out, and if our legs are sore, we'd just be driving around, you know what I mean? And then must be nice, because back in my mission, that's good. Like dang near impossible, bro. We walk like everywhere I mean, I was in the Philippines, so it's like very much different than but that's super cool you're able to do that, bro. What the heck? So yeah, it was awesome to be with him, because he loved it too, and I was like, that was kind of like how we got like our stress out too. It's just like, I mean, I know on the mission, like, oh yeah, for sure. All we can listen to is like youth album. Yeah. So we'd bring a speaker, and like we had an apartment gym, we'd blast that and just freaking pump iron when we're, you know, listening to, you know, whatever songs, you know, whatever EFY approved songs over there, all that stuff. So, but that was like one way that we just kind of like did our thing, and that was like just like our groove. You did that workout, and then it like kind of just set up the rest of the day. I feel like for sure, man.
hopefully be a better day than it was yesterday,
Yeah. And so from what I remember, what I read, so during the mission is when you actually flipped commitment, right? Or was that before?
It was right before the mission.
Right before the mission?
Okay. It was literally like 3 weeks before mission.
Okay, let's talk about that transition then, because you were committed to Virginia, right? And then you also had offers from other pretty good programs, and then BYU came into the picture, and you were kind of like, switched it up right before you left. So kind of talk about that whole process and why BYU.
For sure. Like my recruiting going into like my senior year was because of COVID and everything. It was pretty dry. I'll be honest. Like I was trying to reach out to coaches, and like they were kind of seeing me, but like my off season between my junior and senior year, like really set me up for success. That's when I went to Dave, like really hit it hard. Yeah. And so that, I don't know if you remember, you heard of like the June 1st. So as soon as that dead period ended, the first school I went to, my oldest brother, Terrence, now lives in North Carolina. That first day it opened, we went to Virginia, June 1st. I had a great workout with the coach 2J there. I love that guy. He's the O-line coach at NC State now.
Okay, yeah.
And so that was my first interaction was like Coach Mendenhall. I got to do workout with them, and I was super blessed that that I did that workout and then toured the facilities, and right there, like, we want to offer you, a scholarship to play ball. And then the next day I went to NC State, and they did the same thing. So it was like I was kind of like bombarded. Wow. I was like, holy crap,
back
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dang, like people want me to play ball.
Yeah.
And so I went on an official visit with Virginia at the end of that year, and I really like Coach 2J. He's an amazing guy. And obviously Coach Mendenhall, like, I like the way he coaches. He's very hard on his players, wants them to be the best they can.
I mean, and you know him from the time when he was coaching your brothers, right?
With Terrence and Ryan. And the first time I actually met him, it was funny because my brother Terrence was there too, and he's like, I had no idea you had like your youngest brother played ball too. He's like, I didn't even know you existed until I heard you were coming out to work out. So that was really cool. And so I committed at my official visit at the end of the month, and I really liked the coaching staff, loved them, was really excited to play for him.
Was K-Pop there by chance?
He might have been. I can't remember. Coach Blackjack.
Yeah.
Who's at BYU now.
Right.
He was there. So I met him when I was on my visit at Virginia.
That's so cool.
I met him, and when he came to BYU, I was like, "You were at Virginia, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "So I remember." He's like, remember seeing me and stuff like that. So it was cool. And I committed there, and then I kind of went through the season. Felt good about it. I was excited, and then it was probably, I'd say, October. Maybe November. I can't remember exactly.
Senior year, right?
Senior year, yeah. So this is like, I think, like the middle of the playoffs. So probably like early November. And I just had been having a weird feeling about playing at Virginia for the last couple weeks. And I mean, I don't think my mom will mind me telling this, but I decided, we're at church. I'll tell her about my feelings. Like, I've been thinking about decommitting from Virginia. She was not happy about that at all.
Wow.
She was not happy that I was talking about that, because I had really good relationships with the coaches there, and they were great people. And obviously decommitting can kind of burn some of those bridges. But I mean, it's been great. I've been able to, I don't keep in contact with 2J much, but like whenever I get to see him, we always get to like talk and stuff like that. But then after like a couple weeks, she got more used to the idea, and it was actually interesting because I told her about it. I'd been praying about it, and that's what, what I felt. That's where like I kind of learned like the power of prayer, I feel like, in that experience, was just like praying about where I should go. And it was actually interesting because then a couple weeks later, after I told her that, like I felt weird about it. That's when Coach Mendenhall stepped down. And obviously with that happening, a lot of the other coaches left. And so I don't know, maybe that was God. And, that weird feeling was the Spirit telling me like, hey, maybe you need to go somewhere else. Yeah. And then after that happened, I was talking to my parents, talked to them a lot. And then, just kept praying about it. And I mean, it just kept coming back to BYU. Like it felt good when I talked about BYU, playing for Coach Satake, playing for these guys here. They're amazing. I've loved it being here, and kept praying about it. It just felt so good. Yeah. And like I was talking to the coaches at Virginia, they're like, you just need to do what's best for you, which I really appreciated too, was them like, not like, you've heard the, I guess you could say, horror stories of like coaches being mad at the recruit for decommitting here and going somewhere like they're a traitor, but they're like, you need to do what's best for you. Yeah, they were supportive, which I did appreciate. Yeah. And they were aware of that situation. It was really, really big for me. And then it was actually funny because the day before the early signing period in December, I decommitted from Virginia and committed to BYU. And I actually originally committed to BYU because it was so late as a preferred walk-on. But I just knew I needed to be here at BYU, you know what I mean? I just felt, God was telling me to be here, so.
That's crazy.
That's kind of like the short story of it, you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about it forever. I could talk about it for a while, but that was, God just led me back to where I needed to be.
No, for sure,
it was a big time for me.
And so you go, so then afterwards, so you commit to BYU, you go on a mission, you come back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit about that. And then you get here, and there's a lot of buzz around your name right off the bat. I remember when you first got here, obviously you looked good. You know what I mean? You came back and everybody's all like, oh, this kid can probably play right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom, something happens, right? You tear your ACL and you're out for the season that you were supposed to be playing that year. And so kind of talk about that injury, man. Talk about probably how it happened, first of all, and then kind of how that affected you mentally, what you went through during that time.
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. I mean, like you said, I was so excited, that thing, like you come back from your mission, like felt like after that winter training and that spring and then like getting to the summer training, like I was feeling great, like strong, fast, explosive. I was like, I'm excited to play. Like I really want to get on the field as a true freshman, you know what I mean? And then it was I actually remember it was July 15th. It was a Monday. It was a workout. It was a Monday morning. Feeling good.
Yep.
We were just doing like a multi-directional drill.
Yeah.
You have like the speed gates, but I don't know if you remember, they set up like the 1, then the 2, then the 3.
Yep.
And so I went like, I think it was like 4th or 5th, I'm just talking to the guys next to me. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to get competitive. Like I'm gonna be the fastest time right here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let's do it. Hit I go hit the first gate, feel good. The second gate was the one on the right.
Yeah.
And so I hit that one. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good. And then the last one was on all the way on the left. And so I took a step and turned and it literally like was like that. It was just, it was like a really loud snap and I fell over. I was like, that's weird. You know what I mean? I go to get back up and I go to put pressure on it and it just like gives out. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And then, my teammates, I think it was Awesome and Sam Daw, they came and they helped me up and I really appreciate that. But it was like all right there. I was like, what's going on? Like, the coach was telling me like there was a chair on the side. So I was just literally sitting there staring like at the turf, at the guys. This is in the IPF.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my season could be over right now. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't know it yet. And you always have that hope before the MRI comes back, like, oh, please, don't be this. But it was like in that moment, like it was just so much like anger, frustration, sadness. Like I started to tear up, you know what I mean? Like it was hard for me,
No, for sure.
And they took me in and they couldn't tell at first just because of like how swollen my knee was. And then I got an MRI and the next day they told me like, yeah, like your ACL is torn. And that like tore me apart.
Man.
Just because like I was so excited for football and I'm still really excited, don't get me wrong, but like especially like I'll be honest, like you get fed that like a little bit, like people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna play, you know what I mean? You're gonna start. And so like I wouldn't say I was like super like what do you say, like egotistical, like I wasn't like a big head, I would say, but like, I was like, oh yeah, like
it definitely helps the confidence.
The dream and the confidence was like flourishing. The dream is like starting as a true freshman is going to come to pass.
I mean, if I'm being honest, it was pretty realistic of an expectation.
It was like kind of like within grasp. And then that happened. And luckily before this, I had met my now wife, Ariana, and she was a big help through that all. Just like through supporting me, but also like reminding me who I am. Like I'm not just a football player. Like first I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
And so that was just to help. Cause like, as I was like going into the season, like, don't get me wrong, I had those missionary habits trying to keep my spirituality, but like my identity started turning like I need to be a great football player. And so I think that identity of being a child of God kind of fell behind that a little bit. And so it was like football or nothing a little bit. And so we had a lot of long talks and she just helped me understand that and really understand like what I like, who I am, but also like, because we were getting serious in dating, like how I need to prepare for not only to be like her husband, like how I need to support her, but like in like our future kids, like I can't show them that like football or nothing. Like, I need to care for them. I need to be a better father, because I'm like, that's most important, is the family. You know what I mean? So it's like, help me switch my mindset there, where it's like, I love playing football and I really want to be the best player I can, but also at the same time, I'm a child of God, and I'm a husband. And, you know, whenever we decide to have kids, I'll be a father, and I need to be prepared to be, you know, the best I can in those too. But I can also be a great football player. So through those times, it was really hard. And obviously, like, you have those different like doubts and whatnot. It was really hard, but she helped a lot with mentally, and then meeting with Braden Brown too. Yeah, amazing guy, like a mental coach.
Who actually played with your brothers, correct?
He played with my brothers too. So it's been cool, because like all these guys have like met my brothers, and so it's cool to have these like ties. And so like he's helped a ton with that mental side, because it was really hard. I wouldn't say like it was like full on depression, but like I went into like a depressive state a little bit. I remember just like looking out the window, because I would just, you know, I wasn't allowed to practice. I would just lift, and I would just look out the window and just
everybody's practicing.
Yeah, everybody's practicing, and I was like just wishing to be out there. You know what I mean? And so they helped me a lot. Like Braden did that, like, you know, mentally, just like prioritizing things, but also being in the moment and taking care of whatever I can now. And then strength coaches, you know, Coach Tim was with me a lot in there working, and he was amazing. They did a great program there. And then especially like Colby and Terrence, the PTs there, and the athletic trainers, like it was fun, because Colby and Terrence played with my brothers too, but they were amazing, like getting me back and helping me go through all that. So it's obviously, it's still a process too. You know, ACL is a pretty big injury, and so like it feels good, and I'm getting stronger and faster each and every day. But like those people who supported me, like that's the reason I'm here now. You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't have been able to do it without any of them. And so it's been like such a huge blessing to have those people like in my corner, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know I have people in my corner, you know what I mean? And like they're there, you know, behind me, like pushing me to be better. So they helped me a lot through that process.
Yeah. Shout out to them, and shout out to your wife especially, because to be honest, man, like I tell people all the time, I've said this plenty of times on this podcast, but one of the hardest things when you go through an injury is not the physical part. Like coming back from that is honestly the easy part.
Yeah, the physical is the easiest for sure. The physical is the easy part,
but the mental part is really hard. And when you don't have the support system, you know what I mean? The people in your corner to help you get through that, it can feel so lonely. You know what I mean? It's a lot harder. And like I've went through an ACL injury. I've shared this with you before, right? And my first year I had an ACL injury, and then my second injury happened 2 years later, and it was another knee injury that put me out for the season with meniscus. But the second one, I had my wife. And I can't tell you how much more of a better experience it was for me, you know what I mean, because of her, you know what I mean? So I can attest to that, man. I mean, when you have a corner like that, you know, that reminds you, you know, day in and day out that, you know, life is more than just this game of football, because that's all you know, growing up, and especially you getting here from your mission and just being super excited and super ready to, you know, play, and you knew that you're going to be a contributor and things of that sort. And then to have that all taken away, you know what I mean? It can definitely do a number on you mentally for sure. Yeah. And so, but during that time as well, you know, while you're getting back and getting ready, you actually get married, right? You said you met your wife before then. And so talk about that. How's married life, man?
That's amazing. Yeah. We've been married for almost 10 months now. Yeah. And so we got married in January, and like, I mean, obviously the best decision I ever made. Like she's been so great to me, and like, you know, sometimes I still come home, like I've gotten more used to like, you know, having a wife, but sometimes you come home like, dude, I have a wife, you know what I mean? Like, exactly how you feel. And it's awesome. So it's like, it's been amazing. You know what I mean? She's so supportive of me, and I try to do the same, like support her in anything she wants to do, whatever it is. And so I really appreciate that, because she's just always in my corner no matter what. You know, even though like I got a lot to improve, and I got, you know, I mess up all the time. She's really patient with me too. So that's super nice.
As one thing that's helped me a lot. Make sure that feeling never goes away, because I'm being honest with you, man. Like, I think that's one thing that's, I think we've all experienced when you get married and you find that right person, you know what I mean? It's just like every day I get home, it's like, wow, I'm going home to my wife, you know what I mean? I can tell. I used to brag about it to the team too. Be like, oh, I got to go home. And, you know, my wife is waiting for me. It was like something I was able to say, you know, and then it becomes even more when you have children, you know, and it's like, dang, you're a dad now, and it's like it doesn't go away, bro. It gets better and better. So like, congrats to you and your wife on,
I appreciate,
10 months and enjoying it so far, you know. And so obviously now, you've already overcome the injuries, you know what I mean, and things of that sort, and then transition kind of to prepping for this year, right? Obviously, right now, your situation with you playing and things of that sort in the O-line room, kind of talk about that. How was it for you prepping to get into this year, and then also kind of your role right now?
For sure. A lot of the prep, like shout out again to some like Coach Woods, especially Carter and Kipper, the GAs, like they were super helpful, just like making sure I kept up mentally with the assignments, the plays and stuff like that. And obviously, like, this is like technically my first actual season in college since high school. Like, I was really super blessed to be able to play in Portland State, because that was the first game I played in for 4 years since my last game in high school. So like they helped
4 years, huh?
Yeah, so it'd been like a huge break, you know what I mean? And so obviously, like, you learn a lot, and you're in the film room pausing and playing, but it's like when you get on the field, it is a little different. And so there's definitely like
game speed starting is a lot different, huh? When you get out there and you get that experience, but I feel like there's no better teacher than that itself.
Yeah, right? Exactly, the experiences. And so like Carter and Kipper, they helped a lot, like mentally, but like getting into it, like fall camp, like I feel like I did pretty well, but like still getting used to that game speed, like that was my first time like applying those like that technique and everything since I only played a little bit of spring ball the year before, you know what I mean? So but like through that all, like I appreciated Coach Woods. He's been really hard on me, pushing me to be better. And that's helped me just like try to continually like elevate my not only my like experience in football, but just my play each and every day. And so like this year, a lot of my role has just been on the scout team right now. But like that's a great experience for me. Obviously, like some people are like, oh, scout team, that sucks, you know what I mean? Like, but our defense, freaking Jack Kelly, Isaiah Glasker, Keanu, JT.
There's no better competition, Bodie, I feel like.
That's the best defense you can go against in the country.
It's the best defense in the Big 12 in the country. I mean, in the country as well. So the fact that you go against them every single day in practice, when that time and opportunity comes, people understand how ready you're going to be. You know what I mean? And people don't get a lot of the best players that played in this program started off in scout. It's how it works. You go there and you build, you pay your dues and whatever it is, because obviously you got the older guys that are in front of you, guys that have experience, things of that sort, and you're soaking in all you can with them, you know what I mean? And then I tell all the time, bro, like I feel like that whole culture of scout team being looked at as like, dang, you're doing scout team. Like what's awesome about our team, we don't look at it that way, and I think that's what makes our program good. And I mean, why we're so successful is because everybody knows their role and they maximize it, you know what I mean? No matter what it is, right? Whether it's your scout team or a starter or second up, like everybody knows their role and they maximize it to the best, and until the opportunity for them, until their role is increased, right? And I think Kalani does a good job of kind of coaching that, telling us that know your role, maximize it until you're given more. And I feel like it's a life principle as well, you know what I mean?
For sure.
You have to show gratitude for what you have, and show Heavenly Father that what you have is enough, and you're willing to take care of it, and then He will bless you with more, more opportunities and so. I think that's awesome. Talk about life as an O lineman, bro. Like here at BYU, you know what I mean? You guys are definitely the heart of the team, the heart of the offense, and you guys don't get a lot of praise, man. So how is it playing a position that's not really not really like recognized in a lot of situations, right? If you're not on the team or there every day in practice, some people don't really seem to understand the weight of playing O lineman and how what's that called, vital it is to our offense. And that's totally like, I think a lot like the O lineman we've all played, and so like that's okay, not getting that praise, but like there's like a lot expected out of us, and we expect a lot of each other. And like it's been, Coach Woods has done a great job just instilling those high expectations, but also like
we know that he loves us too, because he pushes us to be hard and to be better. Because that's what we have to be. You have to be physical as a lineman. Like, that's your job, is to block somebody, and so you have to out physical that guy every play. And not only does he teach us, like, to out physical them, but he gives us a great opportunity through, like, teaching us the technique we need to know, and all that stuff. Like, he obviously everybody in college takes their job very seriously, but his is like, he's like, I'm going to give you everything you need to succeed, and then, you do what you will with it. That makes sense. So it's like, he's never, like, he's always 150%, you know what I mean? He's locked in every day, and I love that about him. And he's going to push you hard, You make a mistake, he's going to yell at you, you know what I mean? He's going to let you know what's wrong. And it's good too, because it's like, whenever we watch film, like, you already know what you did wrong.
Exactly.
And so then you're not, like, surprised by his critiquing, you know what I mean? Like, so they've been, and just instilling that culture of, like, also communication, make sure we all know what we're doing, make sure the quarterback knows what we're doing, the running back, if they're in protection, like what, so that they trust us too. And I feel like that trust is continually built, and, like, the guys at BYU, and especially the starters, they're amazing. I mean, they're great players. Austin, Bruce, Gentry, Jada, like Kyle, Sonny, all those guys who play, they do a great job of that. And, like, Coach Woods and the coaches know that, like, we need a yard, we need 2 yards. They can put that on the O-line's back. Like, we're going to get that done. And so there's that culture of, like, accountability and trust that, like, whatever they ask us to do, we're going to get it done. And I love that, because it's just like, they can trust us to run the ball straight down the freaking defense's throat, and that's exactly what we want to do. So, I mean, not to be, like, super long, but it's just like, we're tough and a violent offensive line, which is good.
I was just gonna ask you that, like, what would you describe the type of offensive line that Coach Woods wants to, and you just said it right, violent and tough and things of that sort. A lot of people don't understand that. Like, also, O-lineman is a very much it's 5 separate dudes on that line, right? But you guys have to literally play as one. You know what I mean? Starting from obviously the center and the protections and things of that sort. Like, how was learning that? Did you feel like Lone Peak prep you for that coming into college, the speed of it and the different, protection slides and things of that sort? Do you feel like, how was, like, just the learning of, the offense here at BYU?
It was definitely much different than Lone Peak. Like, we had very simple, like, 3 and 4 man slide calls, but, like, here you have a lot of different calls depending on the situation. But I felt like, I mean, at first, honestly, it took me a little bit longer to pick it up, but, like, it's also helped me understand the importance of being in the film room and asking questions and getting with the GAs, and so I feel like I've gotten it down pretty good. And obviously, mistakes still happen, but it's like, it's football, also knowing at the same time, football. But, like, Coach Woods is also like, well, not only are we going to be the best communicating offensive line, but we're going to be the best, like, response O-line, because like, you'll make a call and then the defense totally changes, whether they slant or they bring a blitz. And so he's also prepared us, like, like, if we have a guy in the 3 tech in front of us and he crosses our face this way, we know exactly what we need to do, like, where our eyes need to be. So that part, I think I haven't had a ton of experience yet. I'm getting better, but, like, responding, definitely want to get better. I mean, there's a lot to get better at, but that's been good too, because it's like that's helped me, try and be in a better position to, get the block I need to give the quarterback more time, because obviously we need to give our boy Bear back there as much time as he can, because he's going to deliver. We can trust him. So it's, they've done a great job there too.
Let's go, man. Well, shoot, let's talk a little bit more about, you as an individual. What's game day looks like for Joe Brown? How does the game day prep look like? Like, what are there certain some people have, like, superstitions that they have to do certain things or do certain things, like, before the game, or what does a full game day look like it looks like for you?
For me, it's like, I try to treat it obviously like any other day. Like, I'm gonna go play ball, but, like, I have certain things, like, obviously I wake up in the morning, gotta make sure you get your morning prayers in. Like, that's the first thing, like, morning prayers, brush my teeth, all that simple stuff. But I'd say, like, stuff that, like, really I make sure, like, during, like, our break between, like, because we'll do our walkthrough and our meetings and our lunch, all that stuff, I make sure I have time to read the scriptures or, like, listen to a talk, because, like, that helps me, like, just be calm and helps me, like, understand where football is in life. And it helps me, I feel like, be more confident, just because, like, I believe it, like, God, I know God believes in me too. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, football is not like, live or die. Like, I'm not going to die if I lose this game. But also at the same time, like, God's given me this potential and God's giving me, this body to play football. So I'm like, that also gives me confidence in reading those scriptures because I'm like, he believes in me. And so I'm like, I'm going to go and do the best I can, whether it's, maybe I get like one rep on special teams. I'm going to freaking do it as best I can with that confidence. Or like if they just need me to just juice up the sideline, like I'm just going to scream as loud as I can, try, get the crowd up, you know what I mean? Like just, do anything I can to help the team. And so like that's the biggest thing is like making sure I prioritize, that scripture reading. That's a big part of like my game day. But besides that, it's like just the small and simple things throughout the day that just kind of build up. So like when it's game time, I know I've done everything I can, watched my film. Yeah. I don't like to watch like a ton before the game. I like to brush up a little bit.
Overcomplicate it.
I like to brush up like, their main pressures, stuff like that, what I'll do. But because I just trust the prep I've done the rest of the week, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, just make sure I keep God first.
I love that, bro. I feel like a lot of players, they're it's different for everyone, right? But like a lot of guys they got to get super hyped and it's just specific music, maybe some hard rap or whatever it is. But yours is just reading the scriptures and making sure that's where your confidence and your calmness comes from, bro. Yeah, I like that, man. That's pretty.
And honestly, I got to keep my because I get really excited for games. I don't need music to get me excited, so I when we go out for like pregame warm-ups, or like how they open, obviously they open up the field before we actually get in our pads and everything. I listen to like country music.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask you what kind of music do you listen to pregame?
I like to listen to like country or just
what kind of artists? What artists do you listen to?
I'm a big fan of Chris Stapleton. Love Chris Stapleton. Obviously a little bit of Luke Combs, and then also like Morgan Wallen. You know what I mean? But I love Chris Stapleton because like. Dude's voice is just like it's very soothing, you know what I mean? Like he has a really
your voice is really soothing. You were sitting here talking to you this entire time, bro. You got like freaking deepest voice I've heard.
No, man.
Your wife loves that, huh? She's right here. Yeah, ask her, huh?
Yeah, she loves it.
You should probably make him sing you some crunchy songs, huh?
Oof, I need to work on my voice first. Hey, I sing at church.
I love it. I love it. Hey, that's all you need, bro. I love it. What's like some of the hobbies that you like to do outside of football? Let's get away from football, right? Obviously, you're married. You probably there's things you like to do with your wife. What are some of those things that you like to do?
Like with the other day, we like to play board games every once in a while. We play Ticket to Ride, the Europe edition. That was fun. So we do that every once in a while. I've been trying to. My brother for my birthday sent me some golf clubs. So like, if we ever have like some extra free time, like we'll try and go out to the driving range, hit a couple balls. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not great at all. I'm like it's bad, but you get that one good hit and it keeps going back. Yep. We enjoy watching like our shows and our movies and stuff like that. And then like on my own time, I really enjoy reading.
Oh, nice.
So and the other day I got like iPad Mini. And so like it's like the smaller iPad, so it's like easy to like carry around. So like
you're a giant self carry around a small iPad.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the perfect size. It's like the size of a book. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I'll read on that. I'll watch my film and stuff like that. But I do really enjoy reading too. So
what is one thing you feel like it'll be like a surprise or something that you maybe like a weird talent or something that you do? That you feel like nobody would know about, or something that you enjoy that nobody would know about. I mean, reading is actually one thing I can see it now. You're a pretty calm, cool, collected guy, so I can see you reading a lot. But.
Yeah, on my mission, I learned how to play the recorder because I didn't have no like, instruments or nothing like that. And obviously, like people are probably like, I learned how to play the recorder in like 3rd grade. You know what I mean? But I learned how to play it on my mission, so I knew how to play some hymns on there. Anna will tell you I haven't played it in a long time, so it's pretty rusty.
Just say real quick, he learned how to do the recorder for me on our second date.
On the second date?
Yeah, I was playing the recorder. Okay. I was showing her how I was learning, because like you used to jump on YouTube and it's like really easy like recorder tutorials, you know what I mean? So I was showing her how I was trying to I love it. And that's when she knew. That's right there. She's like, wow, this guy knows how to do the recorder. Yep, that's it. I'm sold.
I love it, bro.
It was actually hilarious because like she made a little video and like I was doing like I could get like the chorus of Amazing Grace, but I couldn't figure it out after that. It was bad, but
that's I was awesome, trying, bro.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty dope. All right, so let's one more thing actually. So obviously, we'll go back to obviously like here at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
And what is like your goals for you? You know what I mean? Obviously, you're right now you're on the scout team, but you're still competing to, for playing time and things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, you're obviously gonna have a more increased role, potentially be a starter next year.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals for you in terms of football, and then even outside of football, for like the next 3 years that you still got, 4 years that you still got here?
Mm-hmm. I mean, when it comes to football, like my goal is I want to be, wherever they need me, to play wherever they need me, but I want to be one of the best offensive linemen to come out of BYU, you know what I mean? That's my goal. Obviously you have the goals of getting the Big 12, All-American honor, stuff like that. That's pretty common, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. I think it would be really cool. Obviously it'd be hard. But I'm down for it. I'd love to win.
Speaking, man.
It's
gonna be hard, bro. That's what makes it worth it.
The Outland Trophy, the best interior
lineman in the country.
Not just lineman in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be.
It's actually been won here at BYU once by.
I can't remember his name, but it was a D tackle, wasn't it?
Yes, but it's like overall lineman, right?
Yeah, best interior lineman. So
that's big time.
That's like I have it. My wife can tell you I have a desk and I have like my vision, and that's it is to win that. And obviously if it that's the goal, but it's like the vision is like win that and like obviously go to the NFL. That's the goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then in like life is just to be the best husband and father I can be, to our future kids. Like I want to make sure that my wife knows and my wife knows and my kids know that God comes first. And as they keep God the forefront of their minds and keep him the center, like everything else is going to work out. Even if, it's not on your timing, like with the injury and whatnot, like Anna helped me a lot with that. Just keep you in that perspective. Like you keep, the time's going to come where God needs you to do something. Mm-hmm. And if you stay faithful and you keep him in the front and center, like you're going to be ready for that time. But I've noticed like if you kind of slip a little bit in those habits and God will give you an opportunity and you won't be ready for it. So like that's my goal, is to always be ready for those opportunities God gives me, and especially for my kids too. I want them to know that like if you keep God in the forefront, and that's my goal, is to teach them that as best I can. And you keep Jesus Christ the center of your life, like whatever God, like I wouldn't say puts in your way, but whatever he asks of you, you're going to be ready for it. Whether it's like a calling to church or work, a position in work that maybe you didn't think of, but all of a sudden, they think you can do it. Like you'll be ready for those opportunities. I
love it. I love that, bro. I think we should end on this question. But what is one piece of advice? We always end with this question with everyone, that you would share with someone, maybe not even just high school you, but with someone that's, that wants to be in the same position as you. What's one piece of advice you share? Something that someone has shared with you that stuck with you the most?
There's a lot of thoughts thinking about right now. But
you already shared a really good one. I think you shared the best one already, which is obviously keep Christ at the center of your life and keep God in the forefront of everything you do. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, what other piece of advice that has gotten you to where you are?
The one that sticks out huge is like we talk about a lot, but just like the small and simple things. It really, those things will help you get to where you want to be. Like back in my middle school years, like we didn't talk about it much, but I was like a hefty kid, you know what I mean? Biggest I got was like 320 pounds, 325 pounds.
You saying in middle school?
Yeah. In like 8th grade going to 9th grade.
325? Dang.
Like it wasn't.
But you were tall. You were like what? Like
I was like 6'3", almost 6'4", but it wasn't a good 320. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It was a really bad 320. So it's like those small and simple things.
Jeez,
whether
bro,
it was
what were you eating, bro?
I was eating everything. That's what I was doing. I was eating too much.
That's dope, though.
But so the small and simple things is what helped me get a little bit better day by day. So like anybody, who thinks they can go out overnight, like you can get better, but it's like it's all about the small and simple things. Like honestly, like it might sound dumb, making your bed in the morning. That's one little small thing that's kind of sets you up. Brush your teeth in the morning, make sure you're doing that. I don't know, whatever your morning routine is, like those small and simple things will make you better. Whether it comes to football, like literally like after practice, it could be like 5-10 minutes. But like that 5-10 minutes, it could make you that much better the next day if you keep. But you can't just do it once. You have to keep stacking it. Like those 5-10 minutes will continue to stack, and then by the end of the year, at the end of the season, you'll be a totally different player, or whatever it is. And so like keeping the main thing, and keeping those small things the main thing, like that is the advice I'd give, because I've seen it like unveil in my own life. You keep doing those small and simple things, you can accomplish anything, whatever it is. So I'd say that's
scripture right there, man. Right?
I bet a lot of people say that, but it's so true.
It is.
If you want to get your goals, it's the small and simple things.
I love that, bro. I love that, Joe, man. Reminds you of the scripture, right? You know, through small and simple things are great things brought to pass. I think Kalani harps on us on doing those small things
all the time.
I think
he knows it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something that's in any profession, not just in sports. It's a life lesson. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, whatever it is that you're trying to get better at, whatever goals you have in life, do the small things first. You know what I mean? When you can focus on the little things, whether you're trying to get faster, or maybe you should stretch every day. You stretch every day for 5 minutes. You know, just those little examples. I feel like you said, will pay dividends and make a huge difference down the line. You won't even see it, right? You know, and so I love that, Joe. Again, man, I appreciate you for coming and you know, spending time with us here today and sharing your story. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with Cougar Nation, maybe before we get off?
Man, I mean, go Cougs. Let's go beat Tech this week. You know what I mean? Sir. Let's go ball out. But I really appreciate having this opportunity. It's been a lot of fun. And
yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in for another episode of Inside the Y with Center Street Media.
Wherever you get your podcast, make sure you listen to us, whether it's Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Go Cougs.
Yes, sir.